In this episode, we're going to talk about a problem that often appears before an organization even realizes it has an AI security program: shadow AI. Shadow AI is what happens when people start using AI tools on their own, outside official approval, policies, and monitoring. This is rarely done out of bad intent. Most of the time it happens because people are trying to work faster, solve problems, or keep up with expectations. The risk is that when AI use spreads informally, sensitive data can be shared in unsafe ways, decisions can be influenced by unreviewed systems, and the organization loses visibility into where AI is being used and what it is touching. For brand new learners, the goal is to understand why shadow AI happens, why it is dangerous, and what prevention looks like in practical terms. Preventing shadow AI is not just about banning tools. It is about providing sanctioned options, setting clear usage rules, and enforcing those rules in a way that people can follow without feeling forced to hide what they are doing. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. Shadow AI is similar to the older idea of shadow IT, where employees use unauthorized apps or services because the official tools are slow, limited, or difficult to access. The difference is that AI tools often feel harmless because they look like conversation and they promise quick help. People might paste text into an AI assistant to rewrite an email, summarize a report, or troubleshoot an issue, and they may not realize that the text includes private data, confidential plans, or information that should never leave the organization. Even if the user believes they are only sharing a small excerpt, that excerpt can contain enough detail to create risk. Shadow AI can also appear when people use personal accounts, browser extensions, or unofficial integrations that bypass enterprise controls. The organization then has no consistent logging, no consistent data handling guarantees, and no clear ability to apply policy. The result is a hidden attack surface created by good intentions and convenience. Sanctioned tools are the approved AI tools and platforms that an organization chooses to support. They are important because people need a safe place to do legitimate work, and if the only option is no, people will often find a workaround. A sanctioned tool does not just mean the organization likes the tool. It means it has been reviewed for data protection, access controls, logging, and acceptable use. It also means the organization can manage accounts and permissions, set boundaries, and monitor usage patterns. For beginners, you can think of sanctioned tools as the official lanes on a highway, where safety features exist and traffic can be seen and managed. Shadow AI happens when people drive on unmarked roads because the highway feels too slow or too restricted. A strong prevention program makes the official lanes usable, so people have less reason to exit them. Usage rules are the policies that explain how sanctioned tools can be used and what is not allowed. These rules should be clear enough that someone can follow them under time pressure, and they should focus on the main risks rather than trying to control every detail. A common core rule is about data classification, meaning what types of information can be entered into an AI system. Another rule is about decision authority, meaning whether AI output can be used to make decisions or only to assist with drafting and analysis. Another rule is about storage and sharing, meaning where AI outputs can be saved and who can see them. Rules also often cover human review, especially when AI output might be sent to customers or used in official communications. For beginners, the most important concept is that usage rules should create safe defaults. Like if you are unsure about the sensitivity of data, do not paste it into the AI tool and instead use an approved process for handling it. Enforcement patterns are the ways an organization makes usage rules real, not just written. Some enforcement is technical, like limiting which AI services can be accessed from corporate devices or networks. Some enforcement is procedural, like requiring training, sign-off, or manager approval for certain AI capabilities. Some enforcement is cultural, like encouraging people to ask questions and report uncertain cases without fear. A key beginner idea is that enforcement should be consistent and visible, because inconsistent enforcement teaches people that rules are optional. Another key idea is that enforcement should not rely only on punishment, because a punishment-only approach often drives usage underground and increases shadow behavior. Effective enforcement combines support, education, and practical controls that guide people into safe behavior. When people feel they have a safe, approved option that meets their needs, compliance becomes easier. One of the most effective prevention strategies is reducing the friction of doing the right thing. If it takes days to get access to an approved AI tool, or if the tool is slow and restricted in ways that block normal work, people will find alternatives. A workable program provides a sanctioned tool that is easy to access, explains what it can be used for, and provides examples that help people make fast decisions. It also provides a path for requesting new use cases, so if someone has a legitimate need, they can ask for approval rather than improvising. Shadow AI often grows because people feel blocked, and they assume there is no official path forward. If the organization communicates that there is a process and that it works, people are more likely to stay inside the rules. Beginners should see that prevention is partly about user experience, not just about security control. Another important prevention approach is building clear boundaries around sensitive data. Even when a sanctioned tool exists, people may still be tempted to paste in confidential content because it seems helpful. Usage rules should clearly define categories of data that must never be shared, such as personal data, credentials, secrets, and proprietary business details. The rules should also explain why, because when people understand the risk, they make better choices. Technical controls can support this by detecting and blocking certain types of sensitive content, but controls are never perfect, so training and habit matter. A useful beginner mindset is to treat AI tools like external communication unless proven otherwise. If you would not post it publicly or send it to a stranger, you should not paste it into an unapproved system. Even with an approved system, you still follow data rules, because approval does not erase sensitivity. Monitoring and detection also play a role, because you cannot prevent shadow AI if you cannot see it. Organizations often look for signs like unusual traffic to AI services, use of unauthorized browser extensions, or repeated access to non-approved tools. The goal of monitoring is not to spy on individuals. It is to understand risk patterns and to intervene early with guidance. For example, if a team is regularly using an unapproved tool, that might signal a real productivity need that the sanctioned tool does not meet. A smart prevention approach treats these signals as both a control need and a feedback loop. If you only block without learning, people may move to different tools, and the risk continues. If you combine detection with support, you can bring usage back into sanctioned paths. Beginners can understand this as keeping lights on in a building. When you can see where people are going, you can improve safety in those spaces. A common misconception is that banning all AI tools will prevent shadow AI. In practice, bans often create more shadow behavior because people still need help with writing, summarizing, and analysis, and they will use personal devices or accounts to get it. Another misconception is that providing a sanctioned tool alone solves the problem. If people do not know the rules, do not trust the tool, or cannot accomplish their tasks within it, they will still use alternatives. Preventing shadow AI is a system problem where tools, policies, training, and enforcement patterns must work together. The most sustainable approach is to make the sanctioned path both safe and useful, and then to enforce boundaries in a fair, consistent way. When people see that the organization supports productive AI use while protecting sensitive data, they are more likely to cooperate. As we close, the key lesson is that shadow AI is a predictable outcome when AI tools are powerful and easy to access, but policies and approved options are unclear or slow. Preventing shadow AI requires sanctioned tools that people can actually use, usage rules that are simple and focused on real risks, and enforcement patterns that combine technical controls with education and supportive processes. The goal is to reduce hidden risk by bringing AI use into the open, where it can be monitored, improved, and governed. When organizations treat users as partners and provide clear, workable paths, compliance becomes the easy choice rather than the hard one. For CompTIA security AI learners, understanding shadow AI is important because it shows how security risk can come from workflow and culture, not just from attackers. If you can spot shadow AI patterns early and recommend practical prevention steps, You can help an organization adopt AI safely without crushing the productivity benefits that made people reach for AI in the first place.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.